The Animal Rescuers has been adopted by Pet Planet. There is nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
Are you ready for another exciting episode of the Animal Rescuers? Because we are. We are about to meet some people who are over the top with devotion and dedication for the compassionate, humane treatment of both cats and dogs. Here at the Foothills Animal Rescue, we are about to meet Eddie. Eddie says that there's always activity going on here, so let's go in and see why.
My name is Eddie Nichols, and I'm an animal rescuer.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi, Kimber. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
How are you?
Thank you so much for having us here at your facility, and I heard there's a ton of activity going on.
There's a ton of activity, and I always like to say there's never a dull moment when you're working in animal rescue or at an animal rescue shelter. We usually have anywhere between 15 and 20 dogs in our back room, which you're going to see shortly. We also have anywhere between 30 and 40 cats. So never a dull moment, and thanks to our volunteers who give their time to keep our shelter clean and keep our cats and dogs socialized and walked and make them very highly adoptable. It's a great place, and I think we can have a lot of fun going back there.
How do you start out getting a great place like this? I was really surprised when I came in. You have not one building but two.
There's a little bit of luck involved, but the rescue itself, Foothills Animals, started about 15 years ago with some local residents up in Cave Creek. And they actually started as a cat rescue, fostering cats through one of the rooms at Animal Health Services. It's a veterinary hospital in Cave Creek. And as the rescue began to grow, and as the hospital began to grow, both of them knew that they had different needs. So then it became time to find out what to do for Foothills. While the past director was fostering cats and dogs out of her home, the board of directors and some volunteers did a search for some area. And in April of 2010, the resale boutique opened, and in July of that very same year, the shelter itself opened. So we've been here for about 2.5 years now, and have adopted out in those 2 years about 600 dogs and about 400 cats.
I saw the boutique. It's a great way to raise funds for animals. Can you talk about the boutique?
Absolutely. I always like to say to people that adoptions is what we do, but adoptions is not where the money comes from. And that resale boutique is probably our biggest profit generator. It's basically, like I like to say, the junk of North Scottsdale is our treasure. And we take in just about every item, with the exception of some mattresses and some baby material like cribs and strollers. But we have clothing, we have bags, shoes, sporting goods, housewares, paintings, and furniture. And so if you're looking to do some spring cleaning, and spring is right around the corner, please give us a call. We would love to take your junk and turn it into profit.
And it's definitely not junk over there.
No, it's really not. We're very fortunate to be in a nice neighborhood here in North Scottsdale. And again, people are just either driving by and dropping stuff off. And a lot of it does come through just from the people that we know. And we even, with transporters at standby, can come and pick up furniture. If you have furniture at your house that you cannot deliver to us, we are more than happy to come get it for you. We just make the arrangements there.
So business is good.
Yes, business is good. You know, adoptions are good.
I understand you have some goals for 2013. Can you share what those are?
We set some goals this year of 400 dogs and 200 cats, and this is based on 284 dogs and 130 cats adopted last year. So we have set some aggressive goals. But to get to those goals, again, thanks to our volunteers who serve as adoption counselors, we are at PetSmart stores, Petco stores, Choice Pet Markets every single weekend. But we also are involved with PetSmart charities events. And then, of course, as we're very proud to be a partner of PAC 9/11, we attend just about every PAC 9/11 adoption event throughout the year. And those are really great events where adoptions are usually very high. It's kind of a difference where people are coming to a pet store and tend to sometimes adopt on impulse, which we have to be careful, because adoptions are important, but it's also most important that pets do not be returned. So we want to be sure that it's a winner. And at these PAC 9/11 events, these are people who are serious adopters and good people.
So I would love to have you make me smile. Can you show me some of your animals?
I'll be more than happy to. Right this way.
Okay.
Do you trust the food you feed? At Pet Planet, our commitment is to helping our customers navigate through the confusing world of pet food, reading ingredient panels, asking critical questions about manufacturing and ingredient quality. Our pets rely on us to make the very best decisions we can for their health, happiness, and longevity. Pet Planet is here as your partner in pet health because there's nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
Welcome back to the Animal Rescuers, adopted by Pet Planet.
This is where the magic happens. This is our shelter, and we keep this room just separately for our kittens. At this point right now, we're just a little empty because we're just preparing for the calm before the storm. As all of our animal rescue friends know, springtime is when kittens will be in full bloom. Aww. So just for today, we just have Janelle hanging out with us, as well as Louie. And we'll keep a couple of adults in here always just to kind of keep the kittens balanced. What we do with our kittens is when kittens are made available to us, we find a foster, first and foremost, because we don't want the kittens in here at such a young age. We want them to be normalized. In some cases, they have to be bottle fed. So we have some very dedicated volunteers who will stay up all hours of the night to bottle feed them. And when they get to be either 8 weeks or 2 pounds, then we can have them spay and neutered. And then when they come in here, they'll be available for adoption. This is a dog room, and it was an activity room that we use for the summer when it gets too hot and we can't walk our dogs out on the concrete. So we do have Lucky and Patches in here, and I would like you guys to see them. They are just two brothers who came to us from an abandoned home in Cottonwood.
You're both so beautiful.
Yep. And
is this Patches?
Lucky, this is Pat. You have Patches, and I have Lucky.
Hello, Patches.
Lucky's what we call a lethal white.
Oh,
he is deaf.
Oh.
And he is also going blind. So we really like to adopt them out together, as they kind of depend on each other.
Oh my goodness, look at them kissing. You love each other. Oh, yes, yes.
And I do have to mention one thing about rescues, and I'm sure a lot of our partners are aware of it too. The power of social media is really, really relevant in rescuing animals, because a lot of people are so much using Facebook more than anything, starting their own private groups. All the rescues have their own pages, so it's a good way to network with other rescues. And then especially in the cases where they're strayed or abandoned, we can find out about them. And that's how we found Lucky and Patches, through some of our Facebook groups. These are our adult cats.
This is a big room.
Yes, it is a big room, and we are really on a push to get a lot of our adults adopted. Our cat team is really doing a good job here, because I think what a lot of rescues have the same issue as we do. When people are looking for a cat, they want a kitten. Sure. Everybody wants a little soft, little fluffy kitten.
I never get to hold the little kitties, huh? You're beautiful. Look how pretty you are. So how many rooms are in this facility? Because we started over here.
We have seven.
You have them numbered.
Yes, we have 7 rooms dedicated for dogs, and the key is really is who's going to get along with who. So sometimes our capacity really depends on that, because rescue dogs tend to be not as balanced, and so it's up to us and our volunteers to mix and match them, socialize them, to see who's going to get along with who. And luckily for us, we do have a nice foster network, and while we have anywhere between 15 and 20 dogs here, we have another dozen in foster homes right now. I did want to mention real quick that we do have a room here for leukemia positive pets. We're one of yes, we can go in here, absolutely. We are one of 2 rescues that keep leukemia positive cats.
Aww.
And leukemia positive cat can be in your home, provided you do not have another cat. They can stay with leukemia positive cats, they can stay with dogs, or they can be your only cat. And their life expectancy can be up to 12 and sometimes even longer. Sometimes
12 months?
12 years.
12 years.
12 years. So they can live to be, long and prosperous, and thanks to volunteers, all their adoption fees are already sponsored.
So they're getting treatment here at your facility or at a treatment center?
Actually, there is no treatment for this particular case, so they just basically they get the diagnosis and they just live. There is no cure, unfortunately, so they just have to just live out their time. As you know, everybody wants a soft and fluffy one. You guys stay. Come here, buddy.
Come here, buddy.
Here you go, buddy.
Oh my goodness, I have to
take him. I gotta get the escape artists here. Hey.
Oh my God, you're so cute.
Come on, guys.
Oh, he's so light. He looks like he weighs a lot. But he's
right behind you.
5 pounds.
Oh, there you go.
Come here. What's your name? This is Major. He's a 3-year-old Maltese Poodle mix. Hello.
Runaway dog.
Yes, you up for adoption? Do you want a pretty Where's the runaway? Sorry.
This is our runaway. This is my namesake, Eddie. An 8-year-old rat terrier. And Major is a 3-year-old Maltipoo.
Yeah, you know you want Major. I know I do. He is just adorable. And he's so light. How much does he weigh?
I'm thinking he weighs probably about 10 pounds maximum.
Oh my gosh, he's goes lighter than that. He's so sweet.
One of our new arrivals. Just came in about a week ago, and I'm sure he's going to get adopted pretty soon. And all that noise is Duke.
Oh!
Yep, just a restless guy who just needs to be in a foster home. We're always looking for fosters for the rescue. And to foster a dog for us, it doesn't take much. You just basically give him a home until he or she gets adopted. And our fosters are not liable for anything that medically would happen with the dog. The rescue takes care of all that. So if you're interested in fostering for us, just give us a call.
Look at this. All the puppies are behaving.
Our car club, yes.
This is the car club, and their names are Beamer, Lexus, and Mercedes.
In honor of our shelter manager, our car enthusiast.
So who came up with the car club?
I believe it's one of our volunteers. We really try to keep our volunteers engaged, and we're always looking for their input, to how to make things better, not just for the shelter itself, but for their experience as well. So we're always listening to what they have to say. And one thing that we decided to do was to give volunteers the opportunity of naming all of our pets. So when the new animals come in, volunteers give them the name.
Is there anything else going on here?
Well, I wanted to show you our meet and greet room that we have here. One of our requirements for dog adoptions is that if you have another pet, we would like your dog to meet our dog. That way it just kind of helps the adopter feel more comfortable by bringing a new pet home, to be sure it gets along with their family, be sure it gets along with their other pets, and just gives them an opportunity to be off the leash a little bit. These are some of our adopting families, and we also make follow-up calls to our adopters a couple weeks after, just to see how things are going. We also offer the services of our trainer that we partner with, who helps with any kind of housebreaking issues, behavior issues. So he's very good too. We're very happy to have him as a partner. So it's all about the community, and it's all about different people helping in all different ways. And like I said, we would be lost without our partners and our volunteers.
You know what, of all the people I've interviewed, you are so passionate and devoted and excited about what you do, and you really, really, really are an animal rescuer.
Thank you.
The first Pet Planet store opened in 1996 after the devastating loss of our Cocker Spaniel to cancer. What we learned then about pet health was eye-opening. The food and the treats that we were giving him did not support his immune system and may have actually harmed him. Pet Planet was established to be a community resource, a store that offers only the healthiest products and the best knowledge on pet health issues. At Pet Planet, there is nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
It started out like a totally normal day.
I love you.
I mean, I guess I was a little sweaty and I was definitely sore. I thought I had gas. Turns out I was having a heart attack. Heart disease is the #1 killer of American women. So now I take care of my heart and I tell the women in my life to do the same.
Sounds great, by the way.
That's nice, sweetie, but that's not my heart. That is. Find out more from the American Heart Association at goredforwomen.org.
Welcome back to the Animal Rescuers, adopted by Pet Planet. Meet Drago, a regal, strong, gentle, playful boy. He's approximately 2 years old and about 100 pounds. Drago is crate trained, he knows sit, and he's very loving and gentle. But he's also very strong, and with his adoption, the adopter will need to be committed to a basic training class or training background. Breed experience is preferred as well. Drago deserves an adopter ready and willing and able to give him the time, training, and love he deserves. Drago is neutered, chipped, and current with his vaccines.
Hi, I'm Wendi Faircloth with Villa La Paz for this week's training tip for the animal rescuers. Last week we had talked about creating a place for your dog to go when people come over to hopefully prevent some of the jumping up that the dogs do on the people when they come to visit. And this week I have my little demo dog, Secret. Girl. Secret already knows her place. So now what we're going to do is we are going to put it to the door knock. Once you put it to the door knock, what I want you guys to do is practice it, because if there's a real life person out there, you're going to be rushed and you're less likely to follow through with the dog actually going to the place. So what I tell people to do is set it up. Have your neighbor on their way home from work one day just stop by, ring your doorbell or knock on your door, which will create that, craziness, the dog's barking and running to the door. While nobody's there, they're just gonna knock and they're gonna leave, and then you're gonna work your dog without the pressure of actually having to open up the door. Because once you create this place, in this rewarded spot for them to go, once you add in the distraction of the door knock, it kind of takes everything you've taught them and thrown it out the window, because the dogs are creatures of habit. That door knock means for them to rush the door and forget about everything else that they've learned. So now we're going to work the actual door knock or the ringing of the doorbell. And I think somebody's at the door. Get him, get him, get him. Good girl, good girl. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my dog to go to the place. Good girl. She's going to go to the place, and then I'm going to try to open up the door. If the dog gets up and tries to, free, Secret, free, free. If the dog gets up, you're going to shut the door and ask the dog to go back to the place. When the dog goes back to the place, you're going to reward the dog for actually staying on her place. Now, Secret already knows what she's supposed to do when there's a door knock. So we're going to door knock again. Free, Secret. Good girl. Go to your place. Good. So she's on her place, and then I'm going to open up the door. Hey, how's it going? Come on in. If the dog, good girl, if the dog gets up, then we're going to return them to their place. If the dog doesn't get up, we're going to reward them for staying on their place. So essentially what happens is the dog goes through all the excitement when they're on their place. So when you actually do release them, they're less likely to jump up on the person. So I'm going to talk to my guest here while my dog stays on the place. And once I think that she's calm, then I'm going to release her. She's going to say hi to the person. Good girl. Free. Good girl. And then she can greet the person appropriately. Good girl. Or the person can go and greet her. So if Andrew wants to say hi to her, good girl. Get up on your place. Good. If Andrew wants to say hi to her while she's on her place, then that's good. Then her 4 feet are on her place.
Do you trust the food you feed? At Pet Planet, our commitment is to helping our customers navigate through the confusing world of pet food, reading ingredient panels, asking critical questions about manufacturing and ingredient quality. Our pets rely on us to make the very best decisions we can for their health, happiness, and longevity. Pet Planet is here as your partner in pet health, because there's nothing more important to us than your pet's health.
Come here.
I love you, Dad.
For the last few weeks, we've been talking about pet nutrition. Last week, we specifically talked about the importance of the glycemic index and the impact that that has on the health and well-being of your pet. Today, we're going to take that one step further and talk about raw food and how that impacts your pet's glycemic index and make sure that you feel comfortable understanding all the benefits that come along with feeding a raw food diet. So many of you may wonder, why should I consider feeding a raw diet for my pet? Our domestic dogs and cats, they descended from their wild ancestors. Despite evolution, the dog has reached its present state with a digestive system that undoubtedly makes it a carnivore. The same and even more important for that of the feline companions. What are some advantages to feeding a raw food diet? You may see things such as cleaner teeth and a healthy, odorless mouth. You'll see much lower stool volume. You'll see healthier skin, shining coat. You will see an improved urine acidification. So any pets that are concerned with urinary crystals, a raw food diet is an excellent option. You'll see improved circulation and a consistent quality of food compared to that of kibble. Keep this in mind. Anytime you process or cook your pet's food, you're going to lose some of the nutritional value. Even the best dry kibble diets on the market, they've been cooked, and so they're not as nutritionally dense and complete as feeding a raw food diet. Last week, we talked about the importance of the glycemic index and the impact that has on the health and well-being of your pet. Raw food diets measure very, very low on the glycemic index scale because they do not contain carbohydrate sources in the forms of grains and potatoes. The biggest misconception of feeding your pet a raw food diet is that your family can be contaminated with salmonella. This absolutely cannot happen. Your pet, they actually process raw food differently than you and I, and their bodies already naturally carry different strains of salmonella. For you as the loving pet guardian, the important thing to remember is you are dealing with raw food. Practice safe handling practices no different than you would when you process meat for your own family. Stay tuned next week for another Pet Planet Pet Tip. Coming right up, more of the Animal Rescuers.
No one wants to miss out on life. But for 200,000 Americans and millions worldwide, living with narcolepsy can mean just that. This lifelong sleep disorder causes social embarrassment, confusion, anxiety, depression, or worse. Proper diagnosis and treatment can help put narcoleptics back in the game, but often only after years of suffering. To learn more, please reach out to us today.
Welcome back to the Animal Rescuers, adopted by Pet Planet.
One of the biggest yearly events is the PAC 911 Spring Fling at the Franciscan Center in Scottsdale, and this year was no different. It was a great event, the weather was perfect, and lots of people took home new forever friends. We are so grateful for all our weekly viewers of the Animal Rescuers. Remember, it only takes one person to create something special, and you can be that one. Adopt, donate, volunteer, spay and neuter, and you can be an animal rescuer too. We'll see you next time. Okay. There is one. And you only get one.
Anytime that you process or cook a pet, it didn't come off quite as nice as it did the first time. All right. Yeah, okay. Well, let's get to the food.